Esteemed denizens of the digital amphitheater, gather close as we traverse the maelstrom of duplicity and the grandiloquent farce that has unfurled between the self-professed political edgelords of our internet epoch, Hasanabi and Klein, over that ethereal specter of talking points.
I think that, look, if I'm going to be radically honest, I don't know what people's opinions are. I can't see inside of people's minds, but I suspect that like all the Israel packaging that was cynical and really hurtful, but rather unsuccessful, didn't really work. So he's just like moving on to other stuff that he's getting directly from the Destiny community. And eventually he'll start talking about how I bought a car. And then he'll start talking about how I bought a house and how I'm a fake socialist for that reason. And then finally, America deserved 9/11. It's just like, that's just how it works. What are you going to do? Yeah. He has already said you're just a LARPer. Okay, good. If I'm just a LARPer, then why is he so obsessed? Why is he so upset? Yeah. Spoilers, dude. That's next episode. Yeah, I'm un-American. I've been watching TYT and a 3-year sub. Since TYT and a 3-year sub, your takes have always been the same. I know. Like, people believe what they want to believe. I know. Are you disappointed? Are you surprised? I'm disappointed. I'm surprised. It is what it is. There ain't nothing I can do.
Indeed, what we bear witness to today is no mere dalliance in rhetorical gamesmanship, but rather a veritable bacchanal of plagiarism so flagrant it would make even the most uninhibited jester wince in aghast astonishment. And as Hasanabi himself would avow, this is no idle matter. Nay, it is the very integrity of discourse that dangles precariously above the abyss. Imagine, if you will, a purloiner of opinions, a rogue reaper of rhetoric, skulking in the shadows of Twitch and YouTube, appropriating the carefully spun narratives that were wrought with meticulous design by none other than Destiny, the fountainhead of so-called debate bro dialectics. Klein, a figure of no small notoriety, seems to have taken it upon himself to pilfer the veritable war chest of polemical ammunition left behind by Destiny, as if by some cerebral osmosis or transmogrification. Hassan, our herald of social consciousness, stands bewildered, left to watch as Klein lifts, verbatim, the very discursive armaments that Destiny once aimed directly at him. But this affair, my listeners, is a symphony of irony played in a minor key. For what could be more disconcerting, more delectable in its absurdity, than witnessing Klein, who once derided Destiny with the gusto of a man waging his final battle, now adopt his very verbiage as if it were the holy grail of political perspicacity? Here we see Destiny's critiques, honed and polished against Hassan's ideological defenses, lifted wholesale and draped upon the unsuspecting shoulders of Klein, who, it would appear, fancies himself the new philosopher king of Twitch, wielding rhetorical cudgels without a hint of original intent. Indeed, as Hassan bemusedly observes, this recycling of Destiny's critiques verges upon the absurd. Like an Ouroboros gnawing at its own tail, we see Ethan casting stones at Hassan's material acquisitions, be they vehicles, residences, or modest creature comforts, mimicking Destiny's own line of attack with a slavish zeal that borders on parody. For Destiny, at least, these barbs had purpose, a particular sting crafted to expose perceived hypocrisies. But for Klein, he wields these critiques like a buffoon armed with a sword far too heavy for him to bear, grasping at critiques with nary a thought for their implications or consistency. The sheer redundancy of it all. It is as if Ethan has succumbed to some strange rhetorical contagion, a malaise that compels him to echo Destiny's words with a fervor that leaves his audience in a state of stupor. This is no mere ideological alignment, it is the wholesale transplantation of Destiny's grievances, delivered without context or nuance, as if to present a hollow simulacrum of debate. And let us be clear, dear listeners, this is not about constructive criticism or intellectual honesty. No, what Ethan perpetuates here is a sad farce, a shallow pantomime of engagement in which critiques are wielded like blunted swords, incapable of wounding but relentless in their clumsy swinging. To Hassan, this isn't just a matter of rhetorical theft, it's a distortion, a debasement of discourse itself, where words are wielded not to illuminate but to cast shadows upon the very ideologies he espouses. But Hassan is no fool. He has seen this spectacle unfold in myriad forms, recognizing that these critiques will soon devolve into the absurd, culminating perhaps in accusations that he himself orchestrated events as cataclysmic as America's own 9/11. Such is the nature of rhetorical escalation in the echo chambers of online discourse. It is as if the absurdity of the claim gives it strength, the mere audacity lending credibility where reason falls silent. Our protagonist, Hassan, stands aghast at the cavalcade of recycled critiques, bemused by Klein's sudden transformation into a simulacrum of destiny, parroting criticisms that lack even a modicum of original insight. And here lies the crux of Hassan's lamentation, that what was once a dynamic exchange of ideas has morphed into a theater of the absurd, where critiques are slung without care or consideration, becoming hollow echoes of arguments long since stripped of their substance. Klein's performance, replete with borrowed barbs, reveals a certain malaise within the realm of internet discourse, a malaise wherein the distinctions between critique and plagiarism blur into an indistinct fog. It's as if Klein, starved of original content, has scavenged through the detritus of Destiny's arguments, presenting them anew as if he has conjured some revelation rather than a tedious rehashing of well-trodden points. So here we are, in a domain where rhetoric itself has become a commodity, where the theft of talking points is not merely tolerated but celebrated, as if the endless regurgitation of Destiny's grievances could somehow pass for wisdom. And Hassan, standing apart, watches this farce unfold, the bemusement on his face matching our own as we ponder, is this the future of discourse? The bitter irony. For Destiny's critiques of Hassan, though sharp and relentless, at least stemmed from a place of genuine ideological conflict. But for Klein, they are a lifeline, a crutch to fill the void where originality once resided. Hassan, ever the watchful observer, knows well that this is the fate of internet discourse when critique becomes nothing more than a carousel of rehashed grievances, spinning endlessly without meaning or purpose. So, my friends, let this be a lesson in the perils of intellectual indolence. Hassan's reaction is not merely a personal affront but a broader condemnation of a discourse bereft of creativity, where the lines between debate and mimicry blur into a nonsensical hatch. And thus, with a weary sigh, Hassan resigns himself to this surreal theater, knowing all too well that the sanctity of debate, once a realm of rigor and insight, has now been reduced to a shadow play of hollow echoes and empty mimicry.